Okay, first and foremost, I want to give all honors and praises and glory belongeth to my Lord and Savior, whose name is Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Wahar Rakak Wadash. And double honors to the elder apostle of Great Millstone that teaches truth well, and that continue to teach his truth well, and to the hopeful elect across the globe, and to the very few brothers and sisters listening and also learning across the globe. So lucky, this is a bit of a late start. There's a few things. When you come into this truth, there's always going to be obstacles. So lucky about that, but we're here by the spirit and power of Yahweh, by Shem Yahweh Shai. And Lord willing, this will be edifying. And utmost respect to you, brothers that are giving it your all, giving diligence to make your calling and election sure. Remember why you're doing this. You're doing it for Yahweh Shai, okay, and yourself and the brotherhood, okay. So I want to go to Psalms 28 and verse 3. Draw me not away with the wicked. So we don't want to die the death of the wicked. We don't want to be drawn away with the wicked. We don't want to be taken with the wicked. We want to be in Yahweh Shai's hands forever. And with the workers of iniquity. And who are the workers of iniquity? Esau, Edom, the elite banking families. The devil the Bible speaks of. We don't want to be drawn away with them, which speak peace to their neighbors. So this is what Esau's doing, is speaking peace. And he does this by what? Deceit. Okay? Speaks peace to their neighbors, but mischief is in their hearts. That goes back to Psalms 55 and 11? Never trust thy enemy. Bear me just a minute. Psalms 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. So this man, anything he says, you can't take his word for it. Anything Esau says, he means the opposite. He's not for our good. He's not for your well-being. He doesn't care he doesn't care. That's why he wants the masses chipped. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. So this man, he's always thinking, how can he devour you? How can he take you out? How can he take the tribes out? Even his own people. The elites, their plan is just to have the 1%, chipping the rest of the people. Like cyborgs, this is what they want. This is part of their new world order, a human global database. But war was in his heart. But war was in his heart. His words were soft and yet were they drawn swords. So even though he's speaking all these things, get the vaccine, help your family out. This will do them. You do it for your family, for the elder ones in your family, so they don't catch it. It's all lies. It's all deceit. Stay 2 meters apart. Do it for your well-being. That's all deceit. It's all deceit. Psalms 28, Baba Kishar. And let's go straight to verse 4. Give them according to their deeds. So this is what we want. We want Yahushua to give Esau, Edom according to their deeds, according to what they've sown. Which Esau, all he's done is sown wickedness, not righteousness. That's why this world and this earth is in the condition it is. You got these women walking about scantily clad. Okay. You got all everywhere you turn. There's some form of wickedness everywhere you turn. Give them according to the deeds, according to their wickedness of their endeavours. We looked at the word endeavour. Utmost efforts. And what's Esau's utmost effort? What's his endeavour? For him to gain what? A new world order. Okay. And another word for endeavour is trying to attain a goal. What's Esau's goal? To have the masses chipped. Okay. That's his goal. That's his end goal. Remember when Aaron Russo had that interview with, what was his name? What was it? Nick Rockefeller or something? And he said, why do you care about these people? They want them chipped. Give them after the work of their hands. Render to them their deserts. So when it says give them after the work of their hands, according to what they've sown. Okay. So that's what Esau, look, everything Esau's done, he thinks he's gotten away with it, but he has not. That tab's just been building up, building up, building up until Yahweh takes this man down. Give them after the work of their hands. Render to them their desert. What does render mean? To pay back. So they're going to be rendered their desert in due time. And that's what we're waiting for. Because they regard not the works of the Lord Jehovah, they're not regarding it. What does regard mean? Re meaning back. Okay? They're not regarding any of the works of Yahweh Shai. That's that pride. Nor the operation of his hands. Okay? Things wrought. He shall destroy them and not build them up. This is what Yahweh is coming to do. He's coming to destroy them. And he ain't going to build them up again. He's going to completely destroy them. These Edomites. Because right now they're just... wickedness is just on an all-time high. Okay? And this is what and this is what we believe. This is what we want. Okay? We want to live to see the downfall of our enemies. That's what we want to live to see. And the elect are going to see that. Okay? Bear me just a minute. I ain't got nothing written down right now. So we're just gonna flow with the Spirit. Sometimes it's good to do that. That more time you're relying on the Holy Spirit when you do that. This man needs to go down. Let's go to Job. Job 20. Okay, we're going to go to Job 20. And there's a lot of prophecy in Job 20. Let's go to Job 20 and let's start at 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since the man was placed upon the earth? Okay. That the triumphing of the wicked is short. Quickly go into that word triumphing, Baba Kashar. Triumph thing. We look up our words at Great Millstone. Triumphing, triumph was Latin from triumpher. Okay. Let's get more on it. Success in battle. Because right now, if you have slaves, if you have servants, that means obviously someone has won the battle. So in battle you have what? Slaves that are conquered and so forth. So right now what was slaves to Esau in his kingdom. So what? He's triumphing. A procession of celebrating victory. So Esau, he's got his little hoorah right now. A celebration procession for a victory general or admiral or Latin triumphus. Okay. So the triumphing of the wicked is short, very short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. So Esau, what is the main hypocrite in this? But it's only for a moment. And this is what we believe. Okay, we want this man taken down. We can't stress it enough, but we have to be patient. And if we feel like that, some of that, I can't speak for everybody. If I feel like that, can you imagine how Yahweh Shai feels as well? We want this man to go down, man. You just have to be patient, man. This man, look at the state of the animals. You got animals that are going extinct. You got the whales are beaching themselves. People are depressed. This world is just, the air's all polluted. The food's rubbish. It's all chemicals in the food. We need Yahweh Shai. That's why the scriptures in Matthew 24, that he's short in the time. Bear me just a minute. Scripture comes to mind. Let's quickly go to Matthew. I think it's Matthew 24. This man's running the earth just into the ground. This is Matthew 24, and we're going to go straight to 22. And except those days be shortened, where should no flesh be saved. Because Esau would just kill off everything. Everything would just die out. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So the days have been, that's why the days, have you ever wondered why the days go so quick? It was like camp was just yesterday, and the week's just going quick. The days are just going fast. The days are just going fast. Why? Because it's speeding up for the elect's sake. So that even shows you when the scripture says, woe to you that have lost patience, there's really no need to lose patience. Why? Because the days are being shortened for the elect's sake. So everything is speeding up. Nothing is really slowing down. It's speeding up. But remember, Yahweh's time and our time is different. Let's go back to Job 20:6. Though his excellency mount up to heavens, okay, and his head reach unto the clouds. And that's the pride of Esau. And you notice that as well. He's still building in these cities, these major buildings, his skyscrapers. You see it in Chicago, you see it in New York, you see it in London, you see it in Toronto. You see Esau just building up his skyscrapers. Okay? And that's a sign of what his decadence, his pride, his prominence. That's Esau showing you, look, I'm in charge. Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and it says excellency, okay, but this is part of his kingdom. That's him showing his splendor, and his head reach unto the clouds, okay. And this reminds me of what the Tower of Babel, okay, when Esau was building that tower, okay, not Esau, Salakia, when it was in the time of what the Babylonians, and that tower was being built to the clouds. Esau's doing the same thing. It's nothing different. That's why you got that tall building in London called the Gherkin. Okay, the money looking demonic as hell. It's like a little triangle. Okay, that's Esau and his pride. Yet he shall perish forever, like his own dung. This man's gonna perish after them 1,000 years of slavery. After their missiles hit, this man's going to perish. Okay? Like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? He shall fly away as a dream, and shall not be found. Yeah, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. This man ain't going to be seen ever, ever again. It's going to be done away with. It's going to be like a distant memory. Okay? And there's an order to these things as well. Let's go to Revelations 13. It's important we keep going over that. The main prophecy, what is the mark of the beast? I know some individuals, they may watch this and get tired. I don't want to touch on it. Some of you don't even go into that topic. Some of you, see, this what how could you... I don't get bored of this truth. How can you get bored? There's always a topic to speak on. There's always something to speak on. And the main prophecy is what? The RFID chip, which the elite banking families want to implement. Bear me just a minute. Okay, got that on deck. Oh man. Okay, let's go to Revelations 13:6. Let's go to Revelations 13 and 16, and he calls it all. Who's going to cause all? The elite banking families. They're going to cause all, both small, okay? Both small, great. So you're so-called small in society. Rich. Bear me just a minute. Okay, so lucky about that. It's Revelations we own, Revelations 13 and 16, which Esau, what does he want to implement? The RFID chip. Okay, and he wants to do this globally. Okay. Poor, free, and bond. Okay, prisoner. And to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. So what's that mark? The RFID chip. Let's quickly go into that word mark. And we're going to keep going over this because it's a main prophecy.
Strong's G 5480. Charagma.
Karagma.
Charagma.
Karagma. A stamp or imprinted mark. So this is what they do want to do. They want to stamp it in you. They want to inject it in you with a needle. Okay. Of the mark stamped on the forehead or on the right hand as the badge of the followers of the anti-Mashiach. It says antichrist, anti-Mashiach, because if you have this, what are you doing? You're pledging your allegiance, because it tells you in Revelations 14:9, whoever received the mark in his forehead, okay, shall be burnt up with fire and brimstone. So that's anybody that takes it is showing their allegiance to Satan. And it says a badge of the followers of the anti-Mashiach. So you take that, that means you're anti-Mashiach, because he told you not to take it in Revelations 14:9. He told you the punishment of fire and brimstone. The mark branded upon horses. Thin calf, sculpture, graven work, idolatrous amateurism. When you go into that word karagma, in Strong's definition, it says a scratch or etching or stamp as a badge of servitude. Just like when you have a product in the shops, what do they have? Okay, they have the mark, they have the stamp of who it belongs to, the name of the product, okay, the company. So this is what they want to do. They want to imprint you to show that you belong to them. Only a psychopath would come up with something like this, man. Esau's got a sick, demented mind. Graven, so with that on it, and it says mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand. These are the things we got to get into. We have to get into these things because this is what's about to come. Let's go to Revelations 13:16. I receive a mark in their right hand or foreheads, which we just went into, that karagma, incision, imprint, and that no man might buy or sell. So why wouldn't you be able to buy nor sell? Because what? Now if you can't buy or sell, that means you're off the grid. That obviously means you don't have the chip. That's what it means. So those that don't have this chip, they're going to be labeled void, outcasts of society, enemies of state. And you see how people are acting already just when you don't have a mask on. You see how much people are acting. Even some people are, how they feel about the vaccine. They're highly offended that people ain't getting vaccines. So the people, their minds have just been warped. So those that don't have the RFID chip, they're going to label you as a terrorist or something. They're going to label you as a terrorist. They're going to ask you why. Have you got something to hide? Why don't you want to do it? These are all the things that are going to happen. And that no man might buy nor sell save that he had the mark of the name of the beast or the number of his name, which equates to 666. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his name, his number is 600 scores and 6. Bear me just a minute. Okay, so that gives it away. And that's the number which is acquainted with his system. Okay, and which is acquainted with that mark. When you go into that word 6, it goes for stigma, which is stick. I'm going to quickly type in that word stigma.
Strong's G 4742. Stigma. Stigma.
Stigma. You know, when you got imbeciles, even in this truth, you know, the spirit makes intercession for us. So you even got you got imbeciles that are into technology and all that, and you probably got some imbeciles thinking, you know what, that sounds like a good idea. It sounds really interesting. Well, a guy like that's just going to be destroyed, man. There's nothing good about it. The thing's got mercury in it as well. Man. Radio frequency. And when you go into the word radio frequency, it's the oscillation rate of a alternating electric currents. So now, when you have that, there's going to be electric currents running through all your body, which you already have electric currents, which is your brain. Part of your brain, your soul, is what? Electricity. That's why when some people die, what do the doctors do? What do the hospital workers do? They try to resuscitate you with what? Their electricity. Because they even know your body is formed up of that. So this man is he thinks he's God, but he's not. A voltage of magnetic or electronic magnetic field, which brothers should know about that. And when you go to radio, what is wireless transmission of voice signals with radio waves? So even that's, if the missiles don't kill you, the RFID chip could kill you in itself. Because this is one thing that's not really spoken about. The harmful emissions it gives off, because every bit of electricity gives off what? Waves. You've got the Wi-Fi, you've got all these different things. Okay, and then when you do studies on this, it's a fact that these things are harmful on the human body. Very harmful. Radio waves, instrument of production of sound, which is all basically, it's all energy. Latin from radius, beam. And what can a beam do? A beam can melt. So radio, when you hear radio, when you got the headphones on your radio and all that, what's that giving off? Radio waves, which is nothing but energy, because everything around you is nothing but energy. Okay. And that's how Esau, what does he do? He broadcasts what? Mediums. Let's go back to where we were. Go into that word stigma. Brothers are supposed to be sighing and crying, man, to get out of this kingdom. So we're going to go into that word stigma, Baba Kashar.
Strong's G 4742. Stigma.
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 Stigma. Okay, stigma. A mark pricked or in or branded upon the body. So what's that mark? See, all this is why you got to get into the words. A mark pricked or branded upon the body. That's the RFID chip. To ancient Oriental usage, because that was a custom of some of the Oriental tribes as well. Okay, certain tribes in Japan were known for doing that. I've forgotten the New Zealanders were known for doing it. The Maoris. Slaves and soldiers bore the name or the stamp of their master or commander branded into the prick cut. I forgot where that is. That was written in Deuteronomy. If a servant didn't want to leave their master, they would actually bore a particular hole in their ear. Okay, as a dedication to not wanting to leave their master. Okay, or commander branded or pricked cut in their bodies to indicate what master or general they belong to. Okay. And where even some devotees who stamp themselves in this way with a token of their gods' idols. So this is what Esau wants, to show that you belong to him. Okay. See, when you're a trillionaire and you've got all the money in the world, see, him being a psychopath, what's the main thing he wants? Because, all right, he's got power, he's got money, but he wants the people, he wants their soul. He wants the souls of men. Stigma. Stizo, stick, prick, a mark, incised. Because it's like an incision, it's cutting into the skin. In the scriptures, in the law it talks about you should not have no markings upon your skin. Or punched, or recognition of ownership. Like when you have a letter, what do? You stamp that letter. See who it belongs to. Who did it come from? A scar of service. So it's all here. All the information, everything is here. Revelations 13. And we finish on that. You will finish on that bit. This is what this man wants. Let's go to Job. And we go to Psalms as well. Where was it? Psalms. We're in some serious, serious times, man. And I wasn't even looking for this. Let's go to Psalms 32, and we're going to go straight to 32 and 10. The Lord Yahushua bringeth the counsel of the heathen to naught, to nothing. So all the counsel, even the counsel of Esau, everything what he's doing, is going to be brought to naught. Is he going to be able to chip people? A lot of people, yes. But they're the ones that are supposed to be chipped. But the elect, they're going to be protected. They're going to be kept from all things. Okay? Even in death, they're going to conquer death. Okay? Because there is no death in Yahushua. Got guys doing videos on death, that death spirit. Yeah. The elect have already conquered. They've already conquered that through Yahushua. Okay? There's life in Yahushua. Remember, he's the power of the what? The living, not the dead. The Lord Yahushua bringeth a counsel of the heathen to naught. So all that counsel, all their agendas, all their secret meetings, that's going to be brought to naught. Nothing. Okay? He maketh the devices of the people of none effect. What's another word for device? When you go into the word device in the Hebrew, it's mashama. Mashama. Okay? Plan. Evil thought. Bad plan. Plot. Scheme. And it says device of people of none effect. Okay? And it's going to be of none effect to the elect. Okay? Verse 11, the counsel of the Lord Yahushua is standing forever. So it's the counsel of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua which is going to stand forever. Esau's counsel is not going to stand. The counsel of the Lord Yahushua shall stand forever. And even the counsel that the elites are having and all the wicked, who put that counsel in their mind? Yahushua. Because it tells you that in Proverbs 21. Okay? The heart of the kings is in the hand of the Lord. Okay, and he turneth it whithersoever he will. Okay? He maketh the devices of the people of none effect, and the counsel of the Lord standeth forever, the thoughts of his heart. To all generations. Okay? Give me just a minute. This man's going to be brought down big time. So you keep on doing what you're doing, Esau, but everything you're doing is going to come to no travail. Go to Job. Bear me just a minute. Job 20. Might as well go to that Job 20. We're going to go to Job 20 and go straight to 20, Job 20 and 20. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. Why? Because he's going to be troubled on every side. Remember, these nations are going to come upon him. It tells you that in Joel 3. Okay, let the weak say I'm strong. Okay. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. Okay. And that's representative of what? His kingdom. Okay. Remember, all these nations, and it tells you that in Jeremiah 51. Set up the barriers, set up a raise around her. Okay. America's going to be closed in. All these nations are going to come upon her. Even NATO. It tells you that in Revelation 17 and 16. Okay. He shall not save her which he desired. And what's that going to be? His kingdom. See, Esau, he's trying to hold on. You think Esau is just going to say, here you go. Here you go. Hand over the kingdom. No, it's going to be translated from one people to another. This man's going to go out with a fight. He shall not save that which he desired. So he ain't going to be able to save any of it. His possessions, his kingdom. This is what he wants to hold on to. And that's why the men of the Lord are a threat to Esau. It's the men of the Lord. The average Negro out here is not a threat. The entertainers, they're not a threat to Esau. The entertainers are not a threat. Because he's already got their soul. Those that have sold out, those that are compromised, they're not a threat to Esau because they're paid and bought for. Those that are doing business meetings in corporate offices, they're not a threat to Esau because they've already been bought and paid for. There shall none of his meat be left. I've got to stop doing that, sighing like that. Therefore, that's sighing of grief. Salakia, there shall none of his meat be left. What's meat? The meat represents goods. Therefore, no man shall look for his goods. Why does it say that? Because remember, it talks about in Revelations 18 that all these nations are going to flee. All these nations are going to wail. So none of our goods are going to be left. It's all going to be gone. There's going to be nothing left there. Everything's going to be burnt up. In the fullness of his sufficiency, bear me just a minute. Just want to make some space. And there's just a weird, airy feeling. Lately, there's just been a weird, airy feeling, man. You could feel it in the air. More things are going to happen. Sufficiency. Okay. Contentment. Yes, we got it. In the Greek.
Strong's G 841. Austarkia.
Astarkia. So when we go into that with Astarkia, it goes into what? Being in a state of contentment. And that's that pride as well. Because when you're see, there can be a contentment in humility, but Esau's content and his pride in the terms of him taking all the nation's wealth, okay, and not handing it back. Well, you got certain nations that are now handing, like, was it Belgium, France, are handing certain things back to Africa, okay, a perfect condition of life in which no aid or support is needed. Why? Because it says in Job 9:24, the earth is given into the wicked. Okay, so if the earth is given into the wicked, what support does he need? He's just taking everything from the third world nations. He's just pillaging. A sufficiency of necessities of life, which Esau's got, because it tells you in Revelations, when you go 18 on down, it tells you about everything he's rich in. Cinnamon, cattle, gold, rubies, silk, wood, precious wood, fine gold, all of that. Iron, marble, the souls of men, beast. A mind contented with its lot, contentment, competence. So that's what the words sufficiency mean. So in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Okay, what does straits mean? A difficult position. And this is what he doesn't. This is what Esau doesn't realize. He's so proud. He thinks this is not going to happen. Am I spelling it right? Give me just a minute. Which, when you do go into the word straits, it's what? A position of difficulty. Here we go. Vex, narrow, pains, distress, straits, masa. Matzah.
Strong's H 4712. Mate sad. Okay.
Something tight, trouble, distress, pain, straits, distress. So Esau, Edom, is going to be in great distress. Your elite banking family is going to be in distress. And rightfully so, because you've been living nice for what, 500, 400 years? Even maybe a bit longer. Okay? So they're going to be in great distress. Okay? Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him, because these other nations are going to shoot their missiles. Read Revelation 17 and 16. And what did it say? And they shall shoot their missiles on the whore. Paraphrasing, they shall turn against what, the whore. That's the other nation, including what? NATO, that's under America. That takes orders from America, which is really deeper. It all begins with the Israelis. The Israelis control America, okay? Because they control the lobby, so it all goes back to them. So all the laws and everything that gets issued out where does it really come from? Israelis. Okay, them gutter rats. Okay. So every hand of the wicked shall come upon him when he is about to fill his belly. Bear me just a minute. And bear me just when you're filling your belly, what's it indicative of? You're eating, appetite. Okay. Pleasure. Okay, bear me just a minute. Okay. Inward parts, yep. Your organs. I'm looking for a word which describes it metaphorically in a metaphoric sense. Bear me just a minute. Sometimes the Blue Letter Bible, it's not always correct, so you really have to be diligent, even when you're going into words on the blue letter. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, let's see if we can get it up on this. Okay, let's go into that word belly, see what we have. Yeah, a seat of hunger, a seat of mental faculties. Okay, which that's spiritual, because when you go into Job, so like when you go into John 8:38, it says, "He that believeth on me, as the scripture have said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water." So that's why it says seat of mental faculty. So that shows you your belly can also refer to your mind. Okay, so let's go back to of belly, so could be in hollow. So the belly is really indicative of this man's society. He didn't say it in here, but we know, us being studied men, we know that's what he's speaking of. Okay, when he's about to fill his belly, okay, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him. So this is indicative of Esau setting up his new world order, the RFID chip. That's when the Most High is going to cast the fury of his wrath. Whose wrath? His wrath upon him. And shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So the missiles, when Esau thinks he's rubbing his hands together, he thinks he's got everything sorted, that's when Yahweh's going, that's when the missiles are going to shoot through the atmosphere and Yahweh's going to make his appearance. Okay? He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bar of steel shall strike him through, which is the missiles. It is drawn, and cometh out of the body. Yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. Okay? And the gall is that them silos where the missiles are kept in. Terrors are upon him. What terrors? The terrors of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. He's the one who's going to bring these terrors upon Esau, Edom. Okay? All darkness shall be hidden in his secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle, his dwelling place. The heaven shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up. So it says the earth shall rise up against him. The earth. Nobody really likes Esau. Everybody's just playing fair right now, because he's somewhat in power. But all these nations are going to rise up against him. It says the earth shall rise up against him. So this man is hated. Going back to Cain. And Cain, what? He had that mark, and the other nations were told, I'm going to set this mark upon you, so anybody that sees you will not touch you. And you can identify who this man would be. So this man is a criminal on the loose. Going back to Cain. The increase of his house shall depart. So what's the increase? Your substance shall depart, and all his goods shall flow away. It doesn't say some, it says all. All the goods, everything this man's worked for is going to flow away. And you notice how it says flow, because what's going to happen? America Babylon is going to be burnt up with what? Fire and brimstone. So everything's just going to flow. See how you see these volcanoes? Okay. That's what America's going to be. It's going to be a big fiery lake. So when you see these volcanoes exploding, that's just a little preview of what Babylon's going to be like. Okay. All his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath. This is the portion. What's a portion? A lot of a wicked man from the Most High. And the heritage appointed to him by the Most High. This is Esau's lot. This is what's going to happen. This is prophecy. And that's why when you read Revelations 14 and 9, it says, and whosoever taketh the mark or the number or the beast, paraphrasing, receive that mark in his forehead, he shall be what? Tormented with fire and brimstone. There's an order to every one of these prophecies. There's an order to it. Okay? That's why Yahweh says in Luke 21, be not troubled when you see some of these things. Nation shall rise against nation. But be not troubled, because before any of these things happen, before any missile, I always say this, before any missile flies through the atmosphere, what needs to happen? The Arf Hadid needs to be implemented. Okay? And by knowing the prophecies, you know what time you're in. So with this lesson, I really hope this was edifying. And until the next time, Shalom.